Welcome back. You're live with Expresso. Thank you so much for tuning in for an inspirational kickstart to a brand new week. It's a very important week, election week. And while we're all preparing ourselves to make our mark on Wednesday, this morning we're going to look a little bit further into our future, as uncertain as it is, as the world becomes more digitized. Could we see a change in the way that we vote? We'd hope that you would see us moving forward in that space. We're joined by our resident tech expert, aficionado, and journalist Bryan Smith to look at the possible future of voting.
How
interesting.
I need to ask you, is that even a possibility for us as South Africa to one day go digital with our votes?
So that's a great question to start with, and the answer is actually we've been ready to go to migrate to a digital voting system for a couple of years now. Here in South Africa, as most South Africans who have voted will know, or South Africans who are about to vote will learn, we rely on a paper system, and that actually has its advantages when you're dealing with a country as sparse as South Africa. However, a number of different countries around the world have already pioneered digital voting. Obvious examples, of course, being the United States of America, but as well as more recent additions being France and Brazil.
Why the hesitation? When you say sparse, South Africa, I'm sorry that we're calling you sparse this morning, but obviously we know in relation to... Yeah, we're a pretty small nation, but you'd think that there would be so many advantages in terms of oversight of moving into a digital. Why have we not?
That's a good question. So when you're dealing with obviously rolling out a digital voting system, you're relying on two principal things. You're relying on electricity and, of course, internet access. The latter of which is, of course, a really difficult thing to roll out to more rural areas in South Africa, although we hope that is coming in the near future. So when we deal with paper systems, it is somewhat easier to access those areas and, of course, retain votes that much more quickly where there are resources available to support that method of voting.
Doesn't it leave room for corruption if a system is digitalized?
Not necessarily. It's a good question. Up until now, we haven't really seen a major breach of any digital voting systems, although what has dominated the news out of the United States of America is, of course, the idea of voter interference, which is where political groups will use social media or other avenues to try and swing a vote. In the future, we could rely on a number of different digital means to actually secure the way we vote. The first of which is, of course, voter authentication. As South Africans will know, when we vote, we have to take our green ID book or smart ID card and have our name ticked off a list. Abroad, there are different ideas as to how we could do this. We could use biometrics, so the same way that we unlock our smartphone. We could use fingerprints, or in the future, iris or facial recognition, along with all the problems that might bring. Of course...
Will you still get your mark on your thumb, though?
In South Africa, I think we can keep that. Of course, when it comes to securing votes on a database as well, there are a number of new avenues we could use. One of which, a popular idea is, of course, blockchain technology, whereas votes might be recorded on one database. Now, blockchain technology is a database stored across multiple different computers and synchronized using cryptography, which is the art of solving incredibly complex mathematical codes. That could be used to almost give voters the confidence to vote from home or wherever they are in the world. And it might even open up the avenue to vote not even every 4 years, but even vote every month if political systems allow that.
Oh, buddy, this is moving towards some kind of projection of a future that we haven't seen. That's a crazy situation to think of. But we're moving forward with security in that space, that it could be the safer option. But really interesting. I think, Bryan, thank you so much, as always, for delving a little bit deeper. The most important thing is that whether you're doing it digitally, whether you're doing it by a paper ballot, go and make your mark. This is your opportunity to have your say in the future of this country. And if there are any other tech stories that mean as much to you as this means to us, please share it with us on our social media platforms. @Expresso Show is the handle to use.